According to the Autism Society, autism is the fastest growing developmental disability, with over 1 million Americans living with an autism spectrum disorder. We spoke with Brenda Smith Myles, an author who has made more than 1,000 presentations all over the world about autism education. She tells us now about her book.
I wrote a book with Shawn Henry about comprehensive planning for individuals with autism spectrum disorders. Shawn actually created the CAPS, the Comprehensive Autism Planning System, and I worked with him to put it in written format so that people could begin to implement this strategy. Comprehensive program planning means looking at the entire child and matching interventions to his or her characteristics of autism, and then implementing those interventions within the individual's day. Right now, we are in the age of compliance and the age of academics, which means that when we are teaching children with autism, and indeed all children, we are focusing on teaching English literature, algebra, and we are focusing on making sure that they've met goals in that area. And what we know about individuals with autism is they have a variety of needs, and many are not related to the academic area. The skills that individuals with autism need basically are the same skills that you and I need. Knowing how to interact with other people, how to get along with other people, how to problem solve, how to negotiate, how to compromise. Those are the skills that individuals with autism need, and those are the skills they need to be taught.
We spoke with Shawn Henry, the Executive Director of the Ohio Center for Autism, where he concentrates on promoting advances in the training of professionals who serve students with autism and provide support for their families.
The Comprehensive Autism Planning System helps to individualize a complete treatment, care, or intervention program for individuals with autism. For individuals to lead a high quality of life, they need to be a part of their community. And to be a part of their community, they have to be able to socialize and communicate and network within their own system. So it's the same kind of skills you and I use and have, but we need to be much more direct in our instruction and our teaching of those skills. Any good plan needs to be integrated. We know that in healthcare, we know that in weight loss, we know that in good health planning. It has to be, and that's what we need to do. So we can't live with what we did in the past. It's not going to get us to where we want to be in the future.
CAPS is a grid that matches interventions and supports to the individual's daily schedule. CAPS actually has several benefits. First of all, on one sheet of paper, you know exactly what the individual needs during each activity. You know what he needs in math. You know what he needs in reading class. And so it's a very easy tool. It allows a general educator, a paraprofessional, a special educator to implement supports on an as-needed basis.
The benefits of CAPS is that we can't separate a child communicating from a child socializing from a child in their sensory system. It's all happening at the same time. This allows us to see and understand that, and for the staff to be able to implement a good, comprehensive plan at all times during the day. We shouldn't be doing this just at one time. We should be doing it from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed. It is like a good health care program, right? Or a good weight loss program. It's year after year, right? Things change and we must change with it. And this planning system allows us to make those changes as we go. And as the dynamics change, this allows you to change with it. It's a communication tool for all the people who are working with the child or the child themselves. Where it goes is typically with the family, because I mean, when it's year to year, it stays with the family, but it can go from team to team within an educational system very well, and that's what it should be used for. Is within an educational system, it should follow that child right through the system.
CAPS is basically a framework, and so if our student is in second grade, we will have a CAPS that covers what they're doing in second grade. And so everybody who works with the student knows this is exactly what they need. Now, when the student goes into third grade, you do another CAPS. And so the CAPS can follow the individual across a lifespan. It changes with their needs. And we have students who use CAPS in college to help them understand what they need during different activities.
Now we return to Shawn Henry, the Executive Director of the Ohio Center for Autism and Low Incidence, who gives us more on early detection of ASD.
We are training physicians now to better screen and identify children with autism, which is great. We need them to screen early. When they do that, they'll catch it early in the child's life, in the first year sometimes, maybe year and a half. The parents typically notice something already within that first year and a half, and we are able to confirm it. And then right away, that's where your treatment needs to start, intervention needs to start as early as possible. CAPS is not an examination. It pulls from all the other examinations that have happened and puts it into a very cohesive plan so that folks are able to be successful with all of the examinations that have been done. And then they take those evaluations, those assessments or examinations, and they match that to the daily life of the child, and then are able to implement it. As I mentioned, it's like a weight loss program or a healthcare program. You're taking all of that information, but then to implement it, it has to be a part of your daily life. If it's not a part of the daily life, you're not going to be moving forward.
People are needing to change their perspective because they're needing to understand that the IEP, the Individualized Education Program, does not really allow us to program for the child in a way that's needed. And CAPS bridges that gap.
How can someone get more information on the CAPS program?
Well, the first thing that I would recommend is if you have access to a computer, there's a website called www.autisminternetmodules.org. And there's a module called Comprehensive Program Planning, and that is the first place to start.
The success is national and international, but at the same time, it's not successful unless the children are successful. Every time we hear from that parent or that team that says, this is what we were looking for, now we can put it all together. That's all this is about.